2-1 defeat today. What was your take on the game?
I thought it was a difficult one because people will obviously who watch the game will be aware that Walton had an awful lot of possession, but ultimately we set up in a certain way where we knew that they were likely to dominate possession, mainly in deeper areas, and obviously our objective was to restrict them to not many chances and try and create things on the counter ourselves, and I feel that's how it panned out. I mean, we had the better chances in the game, we've ended up sort of not being particularly clinical, and then sod's law, we've had a lapse literally just before half time, and then they score a 30-yarder in the top corner to win it. So it's just quite difficult to take because the players have put so much into the game, and in some ways how we felt the game would pan out, it did pan out in that way. The only thing missing was inability on our part to take the chances that we did have, and obviously, as I say, a lapse for the first goal, and then a bit of magic from them wins the game. And it's quite difficult to be critical of the players when they've done exactly as we asked them, and they've restricted a very good team to very little. Obviously, at the end, when we started to go gung-ho in terms of trying to chase the game, they had some bits and pieces where we were really stretched. But while up until that point, they didn't create an awful lot, and they're a good side, and that would be unusual for them that they haven't created an awful lot. But there's no consolation. We don't get any points, and that really is because we have been a little bit wasteful in terms of the chances that we had.
Mm-hmm. A little bit frustrating for you as well to squander another 1-0 lead.
Yeah, again, we've gone in front, and the timing of the goal, I mean, we felt aggrieved in that referees are added on a minute, and it was scored in the 3rd minute of injury time when he's only said he's added on a minute. But there's no excuse, is it? You got to concentrate to the end, and we would, there was 2 or 3 sort of things that were wrong, which is normally the case. Which led to their first goal, and it's quite a big psychological boost for them and a blow for us in terms of the timing of it. And but I thought we reacted well to that, and in the second half we created the better chances, and I feel we can feel a bit aggrieved, but doesn't get you any points.
No, is it just a learning experience for these young players to sort of be more clinical in front of goals, you mentioned?
I think the clinical thing, I mean, you just have days where, obviously the better the players are, the more clinical they're going to be. But so you have to weigh that into the balance, But there are, whatever you've got in terms of your quality, there's going to be days where things sort of fall into place in a better way than others. And today, unfortunately, I mean, Will Fletcher, for instance, scored 2 goals last weekend. Very clinical today, by his own admission. He probably could have scored a couple of goals. Certainly should have done better with a couple of his opportunities. But that's just how it sometimes goes. I'm not going to start getting critical of people. They didn't mean to miss. It was just one of those things. But as I keep saying, and it might be a bit boring, but they're a very honest bunch, and they put everything into these games, and you just have to. I feel I have to keep supporting them and trying to push forward.
Just looking back to Tuesday, far improved from that game.
Yeah, I mean, Tuesday was always going to be a very different dynamic in terms of playing a team lower down, whichever way you look at it. The Dorset Senior Cup is not the be all and end all for us, whereas the league is, and we've rotated the team, and as soon as you start doing that, I think the game takes on a slightly different. We still should have won, but it wasn't, without this sounding incorrect. It wasn't a proper sort of. It's not a proper game, if you like. You still got to win them, but it's not a proper game. Today's always going to be a proper game, and I felt. We again, as we have been in most of the games since I've been here, we were at a good level. But again, we've come on the wrong side of it.
Jordan Ngallo hobbled off. How was he with the early?
We don't know yet. It's a sort of tightness in his hamstring, so we hope that he'll recover. He's a massive player for us. I feel he was at the centre to pretty much most things that were good about us today. I feel he's probably as fit as he's been in a number of years, and when he's fit and firing, he's an absolute powerhouse of a player. So we just hope that's not too serious.
Jack Dixon as well.
Yeah, I thought Jack, obviously had flashes of brilliance, which you're always going to get, but he certainly wasn't 100% today. And his ankle started to feel a bit sore. But I think it's a huge boost for us that he's got through that game. As I say, he wasn't 100%, but he's got through the game, and he'll be better for that, and he'll have another week now to really concentrate on recovery. So I would think next Saturday he'd be much closer to being fully fit.
Okay, just a final point on the red cards. Straight red shown for a challenge on Corby. What was your take on that?
Yeah, I didn't really have it was obviously with me being in the stand, and it was quite a lot, it's over the far side of the pitch. Couldn't see it clearly, but spoke to a couple of players and they felt that, he's left the ground and it's reckless, and these days it's probably 50-50, isn't it? And this time the referee went that way. I mean, at that stage the game's not going to have a massive bear. I can't remember how much time was left, but won a great deal. So I don't think it had a huge bearing on anything. Lad might feel a little bit miffed, but it wasn't a ridiculous decision. It was probably just a bit harsh.
Okay, Tom, thank you very much for your time.
All right, no problem.